जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरे। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय। श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। So yesterday we played हमने श्लोक 38 किया of 20th chapter, and इसमें King Prithu offered the respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Lord of all demigods. Although not an object of material vision, the Lord revealed himself to the sight of Maharaj Prithu. After offering obeisances to the Lord, King returned to his home. So adrishtai means it's not visible to the material vision, right? It's only revealed to the sight of Maharaj Prithu because of his great devotion. And then we completed the chapter 38 and chapter 28 yesterday. So we'll start with chapter 21, which is instructions by Maharaj Prithu. Maitravacha Mokike Kusumashragabhir Dukule Swarna Torne Mahasuraabhi Abhirdupe Mandatim Tatra Tatrave. The great sage Maitreya told Vidur, when the king entered his city, it was very beautifully decorated to receive him with pearls, flower garlands, beautiful cloth, and golden gates. And the entire city was perfumed with highly fragrant incense. Chandana Guru Toyar Daratya Chetvar Margavata Pushpakshata Phale Stopmel Lajerche Bhirchitam. Fragrant water distilled from sandalwood and a guru herb was sprinkled everywhere on the lanes, roads, and small parks throughout the city. And everywhere were decorations of unbroken fruits, flowers, weighted grains, varied minerals, and lamps, all presented as auspicious Peripheral. सवृंदे है कदली स्तंभे पुगपोते है परिष्कृतम तरुपल्लव माला भी सर्वतः मंगलम कृतम. At the street crossings, there were bunches of fruits and flowers, as well as pillars of banana trees and betel nut branches. All these combined decorations everywhere looked very attractive. So that's how Maharaj Prithu is being welcomed. प्रजा स्तंभ दीप बलि भी है संभृता शेष मंगले अभियुष्ट कन्याक्षय मृष्ट कुंडल मंडिता. As the king entered the gate of the city, all the citizens received him with many auspicious articles like lamps, flowers, and yogurt. The king was also received by many beautiful unmarried girls whose bodies were bedecked with various ornaments, especially with earrings which collided with one another. शंख दुंदुभि घोषेण ब्रह्म घोषेण च त्रिजाम विवेश भवनम वीरः स्तूयमानो गदश्मया. When the king entered the palace, conch shells and kettle drums were sounded. Priests chanted Vedic mantras and professional reciters offered different prayers. But in spite of all this ceremony to welcome him, the king was not the least bit affected. पूजितः पूजयामास तत्र तत्र महायशा राजनं पंदास्तं तान् स्थान प्रीतः प्रियव्रतप्रदः. Both the important citizens and the common citizens welcomed the king very heartily, and he also bestowed upon them their desired blessings. स एवमादिन्ययन वद चेष्टितः कर्माणि भूयांसि महान्मतमः कुर्वन् शशासावनिमण्डलं यश स्फीतं निधायारुहे परम पदम. King Prithu was greater than the greatest soul and was therefore worshipable by everyone. He performed many glorious activities in ruling over the surface of the world and was always magnanimous. After achieving such great success and a reputation which is spread throughout the universe, he at last obtained the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Param Padam. Hello, Hare Krishna, Tarun.
हरे कृष्णा गजन, सॉरी लेट हो गया कि बाहर जाना था.
अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ नहीं कोई नहीं, आज अजय को भी कोई दूसरी पूजा में है.
हाँ देखा मैंने उसका मैसेज.
So I just started it anyways.
अच्छा.
अपने चैप्टर 21 शुरू किया. And basically King Prithu comes back to his place after doing the Ashwamedh Yajna, and after doing prayers to Lord Vishnu, right? He comes back, and that's what is being described right now. Like how he is being welcomed. तो पढ़ोगे?
मैं एक मिनट फोन पे हूँ, उसमें आईपैड पे करता हूँ.
तो तब तक मैं कर लेता हूँ, कोई नहीं. हाँ. सुवाच तदाधिराजस्य यशो वृषभितं गुणैर्शेषे गुणवत्स भाजितं क्षता महाभागवतः सत्स्पते कोशारविवं प्राह गृह्णन्तमर्चयन्. Sut Goswami continued, O Sonak, leader of the great sages, after hearing Maitreya speak about the various activities of King Prithu, the original king, who was fully qualified, glorified, and widely praised all over the world, Vidur, the great devotee, very submissively worshipped Maitreya Rishi and asked him the following question. Okay, तो जैसे ध्यान है, Sut Goswami was reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam to all the Rishi Munis who gathered at Nemisaranya. Those Rishi Munis were headed by Sonak Muni. Yeah. And Sut Goswami was present when Sukdev Goswami was reciting this to Parikshit Maharaj, right? So he was the one who could recite Srimad Bhagavatam to all the Rishi Munis, because the Kali Yuga was about to start. So Sud Goswami okay, so Sud Goswami is telling to Sonak Muni and all the Rishi Munis that Vidur, after hearing all the story of Maharaj Prithu and Lord Vishnu's appearance, he again asked the following question. Yeah. So, Tarun.
Vidurvacha so bhishiktya taha prithur viprera labdhayasesa surar hana bibrat sa vaishnavam tejo bhavor yabhyam dudohagam. Vidura said, "My dear Brahmana Maitreya, it is very enlightening to understand that King Prithu was enthroned by the great sages and Brahmanas. All the demigods presented him with innumerable gifts, and he also expanded his influence upon personally receiving strength from Lord Vishnu. Thus he greatly developed the earth." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Prithu Maharaj actually is the one who developed the earth big time. Right? Ko navashya kirtina shrinotya yatadi krimochistama shesha bhupaha lokaha sapala upajivanti kama madhyapitan mevad karma shuddham. Prithu Maharaj was so great in his activities and magnanimous in his method of ruling that all the kings and demigods on the various planets still follow in his footsteps. Who is there who will not try to hear about his glorious activities? I wish to hear more and more about Prithu Maharaj because his activities are so pious and auspicious. So Mahatma Vidur is asking Maitreya Muni to tell more about Prithu Maharaj because Prithu Maharaj's activities are so pious and auspicious. So that's why he wants to hear more and more about Prithu Maharaj.
Maitreya Ganga Yamuna Sor Nadyor Antara Shetram Avasan Arabdhyam Eva Bhubuje Bhogan Punya Jihasaya. The great saintly sage Maitreya told Vidura, "My dear Vidura, King Prithu lived in the tract of land between the two great rivers Ganges and Yamuna. Because he was very opulent, it appeared that he was enjoying his destined fortune in order to diminish the results of his past pious activities." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so it's very interesting that it says Punya Jihasaya. So even at the level of Maharaj Prithu, right, says that he was enjoying his destined fortune. Now, when he's enjoying the destined fortune, what's happening is it's diminishing the results of his past pious activities. So, result of his past karma, but he's enjoying the fortune is actually then diminishing the results. But that's good for Maharaj Prithu because he is going to go back to Godhead. So, get rid of all the karmas and the reactions. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Ajay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
पढ़ोगे आगे?
हाँ. सर्वत्र खलिता देशः सप्तद्वीप पैक दंड धृक अन्यत्र ब्राह्मण कुलादयंत्राच्युत गोत्रतः. Maharaja Prithu was an unarrived king and possessed this scepter for ruling all the 7 islands on the surface of the globe. No one could disobey his irrevocable orders but the saintly persons, the Brahmanas, and the descendants of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what is mentioned is like Maharaj Prithu was unrivaled king, but most importantly, ruling all the 7 islands on the surface of the globe. Sapta Dvipe. Yeah. That is the entire continent, right? And it's actually nicely mentioned here. Let's read this, Tarun.
Saptadvipa refers to the 7 great islands or continents on the surface of the globe: Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Oceania. In the modern age, people are under the impression that during the Vedic period or the prehistoric ages, America and many other parts of the world had not been discovered. But that is not a fact. Prithu Maharaja ruled over the world many thousands of years before the so-called prehistoric age. And it is clearly mentioned here that in those days, not only were all the different parts of the world known, but they were ruled by one king, Maharaja Prithu. The country where Prithu Maharaja resided must have been India, because it is stated in the 11th verse of this chapter that he lived in the tract of land between the rivers Ganges and Yamuna. The tract of land, which is called Brahmavarta, consists of what is known in the modern age as portions of Punjab and northern India. It is clear that the kings of India once ruled all the world and the culture was Vedic. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting part, right? Which we never read in any historical books. It's clearly mentioned here, Sapta Dvipe. And we have also read about this in the previous chapters, right? Where we saw like Dhruv Maharaj was also the king of the whole planet, right? So as Maharaj Tanpad. So, people had the Vedic knowledge and the Vedic king is what is mentioned. Tarun?
एकदासीन महासत्र दीक्षया तत्र दिव्योकसम समाजो ब्रह्ममर्षिणम च राजसिनम च sattama. Once upon a time, King Prithu initiated the performance of a very great sacrifice in which great saintly sages, brahmanas, demigods from higher planetary systems, and great saintly kings known as Raja Rishis all assembled together. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So another yajna by Prithu Maharaj, and who all comes into that? Brahma Rishis and all the Rajas Rishis, right? And then, of course, all the demigods from the higher planetary systems. They also come together. It says here in this verse, the most significant point is that although King Prithu's residential quarters were in India, between the river Ganges and Yamuna, the demigods also participated in the great sacrifice he performed. This indicates that formerly the demigods used to come to this planet. Similarly, great personalities like Arjun, Yudhishthir, and many others used to visit higher planetary systems. Thus, there was interplanetary communication via suitable airplanes and space vehicles. Right? So somehow, not only just this planet, but all the planets up and down, important people used to travel. Ajay?
तस्मिन् हर्त्सु सर्वेषु स्वचितेषु यथा हृतः उत्थितः सदसो मध्ये ताराणां मुडुराडिव. In the great assembly, Maharaja Prithu first of all worshipped all the respectable visitors according to their respective positions. After this, he stood up in the midst of the assembly, and it appeared that the full moon had arisen amongst the stars. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So Maharaj Prithu is being compared like as a full moon appears among the stars. That's how Maharaj Prithu was looking when he stood up in the middle of the assembly. Yeah? Tarana Muduradiva. So. Pranchuha pinayat bhujo goreh kanjarunekshaneh sunasah sumukah somyah pinasamah sadvijasmitah King Prithu's body was tall and sturdy, and his complexion was fair. His arms were full and broad, and his eyes as bright as the rising sun. His nose was straight, his face very beautiful, and his personality grave. His teeth were set beautifully in his smiling face. Okay.
Viewed Vaksha Brihatchoni Valir Gadulodaraha Avartana Bhiro Jasvi Kanchano Rurugurpat. The chest of Maharaja Prithu was very broad, his waist was very thick, and his abdomen, wrinkled by the lines of skin, resembled in construction a leaf of a banyan tree. His navel was coiled and deep. His thighs were of a golden hue, and his instep was arched. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so this here Maharaj Prithu is being described. Tarun?
Sukshma Vakrashita Snigdha Murdhaja Kambu Kandhara Mahadhane Dukulaigargraye Paridha Yopaviyahacha. The black slick hair on his head was very fine and curly, and his neck, like a conch shell, was decorated with auspicious lines. He wore a very valuable dhoti, and there was a nice wrapper on the upper part of his body. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा. तो ये किसके बारे में बोला जा रहा है?
King Bidhu.
Maharaj Prithu, right?
Yeah.
So he is being described. This is how he was positioned. Right? व्यजिताशेष गात्र श्री निर्यमेन्यस्तभूषणः कृष्णाजिनधर श्रीमान कुशपाणि है कृतोचितः. As Maharaja Prithu was being initiated to perform the sacrifice, he had to leave aside his valuable dress, and therefore his natural bodily beauty was visible. It was very pleasing to see him put on a black deer skin and wear a ring of kush grass on his finger. For this increased the natural beauty of his body. It appears that Maharaj Prithu observed all the regulative principles before he performed the sacrifice. Tarun?
Shishira Sigdada Taraksha Sameksata Samantaha Uvivan Idam Urvisa Sada Samharsanan Iva. Just to encourage the members of the assembly and to enhance their pleasure, King Prithu glanced over them with eyes that steamed like stars in a sky wet with dew. He then spoke to them in a great voice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so King Prithu is now talking to all the members of the assembly who have gathered there. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Shiksha Prabhuji.
हाँ हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna. पढ़ेंगे?
हाँ. चारु चित्रपदम सलक्षणम इष्टम गुणमिकुलवम सर्वेषाम् उपकारार्थम तदानुवादिनी वा. Maharaj Prithu's speech was very beautiful, full of metaphorical language, clearly understandable and very pleasing to hear. His words were all grave and certain. It appears that when he spoke, he expressed his personal realization of the absolute truth in order to benefit all who were present. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Maharaj Prithu actually expressed his personal realization of the absolute truth so that everybody else can also benefit from that. Ajay?
Rajovac. Sabhya Shrunutah Bhadram Vasadavo Ya Ihagatah Satsu Jigyasu Midharma Dharma Vidyam Manishitam. King Prithu said, O gentle members of assembly, may all good fortune be upon you. One second. May all of your great souls who have come to attend this meeting kindly hear my prayer attentively. A person who is actually inquisitive must present his decision before an assembly of noble souls. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Ajay? Arun?
Aham dandadaro raja prajanamihi yojita rakshita vadhita da sweshu setushu sadhapita pradhaka. King Prithu continued, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, I have been appointed the king of this planet, and I carry the scepter to rule the citizens, protect them from all danger, and give them employment according to their respective positions in the social order established by Vedic injunction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shiksha Guru?
तस्य मे तदनुष्ठानाद्या ब्रह्मवादिनः लोकस्योकामसन्दोहा यस्य तुष्यति दृष्टिकृका. Maharaj Prithu said, I think that upon the execution of my duties as king, I shall be able to achieve the desirable objectives described by experts in the Vedic knowledge. This distinction is certainly achieved by the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the seer of all destiny. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. ये उत्तदिरेत्करं राजा प्रजाधर्मेश वक्षिक्षयन् प्रजानां शम्लं भुक्तिं भगं च स्वं जहाति स. Any king who does not teach his citizens about their respective duties in terms of varna and ashram, but who simply expects tolls and taxes from them, is liable to suffer for the impious activities which have been performed by the citizens. In addition to such degradation, the king also sees his own fortune. King also loses his own fortune. Sorry. Ajay?
Tat praja bharti pindarth swarth mevan suyavah kurta dhoksh jadi yasati me anugraha krita. Prithu Maharaj continued, therefore, my dear citizens, for the welfare of your king after his death, you should execute your duties properly in terms of your position of varna and ashram, and should always think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within your hearts. By doing so, you will protect your own interests, and you will bestow mercy upon your king for his welfare after death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Prithu Maharaj is continuously speaking to his citizens. Right? Arun?
Yuyum tad anumodadanvam pitradevarsayo arsho malayaha kartu sastur anujanatus tulyam yat pretya tat phalam. I request all the pure-hearted demigods, forefathers, and saintly persons to support my proposal. For after death, the result of an action is equally shared by its doer, its director, and its supporter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Maharaj Prithvi is requesting all the Devatas and Pitradevs and all the Sadhu Sant, yeah, we start sharing his proposal about Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Shiksham Ruji?
Hmm. Yes, Asti Yagpatirnama Kesachidar Arhatamaha इहा मूत्र च लक्ष्यन्ते ज्योत्सनावत्यः क्वचित् उद्भवः. My dear respectable ladies and gentlemen, according to the authoritative statement of Shastra, there must be a supreme authority who is able to award the respective benefits of our present activities. Otherwise, why should there be persons who are unusually beautiful and powerful both in this life and in the life after death? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Huh? Very long purport. So, Ajay?
Sure. मनोरुत्तान पादस्य ध्रुव स्थापि महीपते प्रियव्रतस्य राजर्षिशृङ्गस्या स्मृतिपितुः ईदृशानां थान्यो शेजामजस्य च भवस्य च प्रहादस्य बलेशापि कृत्युमस्ति गृदाभृता. This is confirmed not only by evidence of the Vedas but also by the personal behavior of great personalities like Manu, Uttanpad, Dhruv, Priyavrat, and my grandfather Ang, as well as by many other great personalities and ordinary living entities exemplified by Maharaja Prahlad and Bali, all of whom are theists, believing in the existence of Supreme Personality of Godhead who carries a club. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All that described by Maharaj Prithvi. Let's do one more, Tarun.
Dohitrati dinarate mrityo shosyanah dharma vimohitana varga swarga pavgrana prayane kamtyamya hetuna. Although abominable persons like my father, Veena, the grandson of death personified, are bewildered on the path of religion, all the great personalities like those mentioned agree that in this world the only bestower of the benedictions of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation or elevation to the heavenly planets is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Shiksham Ruji?
हाँ. यत्पादसेवाभिरुचिस्तपस्विना मशेषजन्मोकुचितम् अलं धियः साध्यः क्षीणोत्योन्वः मेधति सति यथा पादङ्गस्तु विनिःसृता सरिता. By the inclination to serve the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, suffering humanity can immediately cleanse the dirt which has accumulated in their mind during innumerable births. Like the Ganges water which emanates from the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord, Such a process immediately cleanses the mind, and thus spiritual or Krishna consciousness gradually increases. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so what happens is, what Prithu Maharaj is saying is that everyone should serve the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, by doing that, by doing the devotional prayers, yeah, immediately cleanse the dirt which has accumulated in their minds during innumerable births. Right? So birth after birth, all those dirt has been accumulated in the mind. How can that be cleansed? Is by serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Or like chanting, for example. Yeah. So like the Ganges water which emanates from the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a process immediately cleans the mind, and the spiritual or Krishna consciousness gradually increases. Yeah. So we are going to pause here since it's already 10:50. And we are going to do the Damodar Ashtakam one more time this week. Yeah. So just a second. Okay, so we'll hear the Damodar Ashtakam, yeah.
Okay.
Muhushvasakam padhirika
right, so that's Damodar Ashtakam. Or I think that's it. Next week, say we'll start something else. Kartik month is over. And then we'll see you tomorrow at 10. Yeah. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Um,